Kawhi Leonard has become one of the most controversial and talked about players in the entire NBA ever since he joined the Los Angeles Clippers in 2019 after winning a championship with Toronto, and this has not necessarily been a good thing for his career. Ever since joining LA in 2019, he has not played more than 68 games in a single season, and that was this past season. Before that, he hadn't played more than 57 games for the Clippers, including missing an entire season with an ACL injury. And throughout this past season, where he played 68 games, he missed the past few games of the season and ended up missing the entire playoff run, if you want to call it that, for the Clippers, where they got eliminated in the first round. And this was supposed to be a super team. He joined the Clippers with Paul George in 2019 and left a Toronto team that had a lot of potential and got back to the Eastern Conference semifinals the year after to join a team that he thought he could win with in LA. But now Paul George is gone, and while him and James Harden are still there, both are looking like they are past their primes, and Kawhi Leonard's career has just taken a tumble ever since leaving Toronto. Now, it is worthy of note that Kawhi, at his best and while healthy, is still one of the best players in the entire NBA, but the problem is we just haven't seen him healthy throughout an entire regular season and playoff run in quite some time, and probably since he was in Toronto. And throughout that Toronto season, he averaged 26.5 points a game, 7.3 rebounds, and 3.3 assists, and led the Raptors to an NBA title, their first in franchise history, and took a team that had just been perennially not good enough. They were good, but not good enough every single year, and took them to the mountaintop and won them a championship. And we've seen him be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He's won 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards. He's come close to winning MVP multiple times. He's won a Finals MVP. He's one of the great players of our generation, but he still just hasn't been able to stay healthy the last 5 seasons with the Clippers. And the best ability a lot of times is availability. So we have to be honest about Kawhi Leonard. And I think that him being an amazing player and an elite player and him not being able to contribute for his team are not mutually exclusive. He's an amazing player when he's on the floor for this team. And while he's been a Clipper, he's had some of his best statistical seasons of his career. In his first year with the Clippers, he averaged 27.1 points, which was his best of his career. And he's come as a MVP candidate multiple times with the Clippers, but he needs to be able to stay on the floor during the playoffs. And throughout the past few seasons, he has not been able to do that. And I don't want to overlook his talent. A lot of people bash on his talent and say, recently it's been a thing in the media that he needs to retire as soon as possible, but I don't believe that this sentiment is true, because with Kawhi, he is still an elite basketball player when he is on the floor. This past season, he averaged about 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, while still being an all-star, an NBA second-team member, and he shot 41% from the three-point line this year, which is the best of his career outside of his 2015-2016 season, where he was amazing. And Kawhi Leonard is still an amazing basketball player, but we have to face the reality that his best days may be over because of injuries. And he is another story where injuries have destroyed, and destroyed is even a strong word to use, but has made less of a career that could have been one of the greats of all time. He had the potential through his first few years before his major injury in San Antonio to be a great player of all time. And then he only played 9 games in 2017, 2018. And then he went to Toronto, won a championship. But then ever since then, in 6 of the last 7 seasons, he has not been able to stay healthy. And that has just waned on his legacy through the past few seasons with NBA media. And it's a what have you done for me lately kind of league. So for Kawhi Leonard, he needs to be able to stay healthy a couple more years, but he is getting a lot older now and is entering his age 33 season. So he only has a few more years left in him, and we'll have to see what he can do through the final few years of his career. But as of right now, his legacy has been tainted, but we have to remember the kind of player that he was at his peak in both San Antonio and in Toronto. God bless you all. I hope you have an amazing day, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. God bless.